I was honored to meet Jesse Holguin this week, the founder of Lexit, which is the Latin exit from the Democratic Party. If you don't know his story, I urge you to go to wearelexit.com or Lexit Movement on Instagram to check out the great things that they're doing. But I wanted to share my own story. As a multicultural Chinese-Jamaican girl raised in a Puerto Rican household, my mom's side, I grew up not following politics. Like many Boricua friends of mine, we grew up primarily on God and family. As I grew older, I started to feel that things in the world just weren't right. I think my first clue was learning about how we went to the moon and seeing images of Nixon on the phone. I thought, man, that's super weird. But then came 9/11. My mom was married to a man named William Rodriguez, who was a big part of my young life. He's since traveled the world telling his story as the last man out. He was a janitor at the North Tower for as long as I can remember. He had a master key and bravely climbed the stairs with firefighters, unlocking doors, saving hundreds of lives on that day. He did all that he could to try to bring information to the 9/11 Commission to help bring out the official story. But much like the Warren Commission, Watergate, Whitewater, J6, we may never get the truth, and we know we've been appeased by a government that has a lot to hide. To some, I might sound like a conspiracy theorist, but even that term was created to deter the public from learning the truth about reality. When Obama was elected, I was so happy to have our first Black president. But as time went on, I started to realize that despite his seemingly cool, smooth nature, he too was only just a really good politician who knew how to get people to like him so he could distract from the things that he was actually doing. As the world starts to become more involved in politics and what is happening around us, it's important to look back at what we might have missed. Growing up, being a Democrat meant you cared about people. It meant you wanted more for those who needed assistance, and you were just a good human being. I was taught that Republicans were just rich people who wanted more money for themselves, but boy, was I taught wrong. But I'm not alone in this, and this is why I've made it my mission to become informed. As much as what we see on television keeps us divided and wants us to believe that there's so many bad, racist, ill-intentioned people out there, I've come to realize that the majority of Americans, despite what they label themselves politically, have good hearts and good intentions. They're just uninformed and programmed to believe that liberal is the right thing to do. But look at what liberals gotten us, not just as a community, but as a country. They've taken God out of our schools, shut down our churches, indoctrinated our children, and demonized parents. The projecting and gaslighting you see on the news, movies, TV shows, and from politicians has become so blatant. It's scary to think that there are people out there that are still blind to it. Yes, sure, there seem to be some social programs and help out there for disenfranchised people in our country, but is it just meant to appease? Think about some of the government programs that are available to people in this country. Are they really as good as they should be? Why is our government, instead of helping people here in America by enhancing programs around the country, sending billions of dollars everywhere else? If you follow the history of these programs, those involved, and the money, you will find more bad intentions. Why is a program like Unidos, which is meant to help immigrants into the U.S., supporting and donating to the Democratic Party and Democratic candidates? If they're a nonprofit organization, aren't they by law supposed to remain nonpartisan? And why is the largest donor to date Bill Gates? I think we can all agree, not a man with good intentions. At the end of the day, the Democratic Party is run by rich globalists who have become very good at making people believe we're the government and we're here to help. But the truth is they don't care about us. They never have. They only care about us keeping them in power. So they say what they think we want to hear while doing the opposite. Especially someone like AOC, who was inserted to push the Green New Deal, or even the senators in my state of New Jersey. What has Bob Menendez done for us? And why is he a member of the World Economic Forum? Why did my other senator, Cory Booker, what did he do with all the Facebook money he received for the city of Newark? See what I mean? But at the end of the day, we cannot allow these politicians to treat us like we're idiots. Every time I turn on the TV, I can see right through their hypocritical messaging, and I'm tired of it. This is why, as Latinos get more involved and start to learn the truth, they're turning to the Republican Party. The Republican Party isn't perfect, but at heart, Latinos are conservative by nature. We were just lied to and indoctrinated for so long to believe that we weren't. Once you are open to the idea that the world isn't what you once thought it was, it will look very different. But I know Latinos, not Latinx, know how to band together, and this is a cause we need to be together for. Levántate, mi gente.